Right, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Sir Gil back at it on the Pan America, and today I wanted to go over what got me into motorcycles. My first motorcycle, my first street bike, on kind of the progressive journey that I've been on. Yeah, if you enjoy this story time, go ahead and subscribe, and maybe I'll do some more of these in the future. So we'll start with like my introduction to motorcycles. My earliest memory I could have of motorcycles was when I was like 3, and me and my mom and my sister, we lived in a trailer park in, I think it was Idaho, and I remember like a rock or something I just ran over. I remember all the way in the back of the trailer park there was like a track that all the kids set up for their dirt bikes and everything. So all the teenagers and the adults, that's kind of what they did for recreation in that trailer park, was riding dirt bikes. So they all had their dirt bikes out all the time, ripping it up in the back, and I'd see them doing that stuff, and I thought it was so cool. In fact, I was so young, I thought it'd be so cool to play pretend and grab my little bicycle with my little training wheels on it still, and go ride around on the track like I was one of the cool kids. Long story short, that didn't turn out well for me. One of the guys did not see me, busted a wild fucking jump over one of the jumps, came down, and just ran me right over. Had a giant tire mark on my back. I went home hooting and hollering and crying like a little baby. That was kind of like my first introduction into motorcycles. Was the curiosity definitely killed the cat on that one. So after that, my mom started dating my stepdad, which I usually just refer to as my dad. And my dad drove a big 2001 or 2000, 2000 or 2001 Electra Glide. He put me on the back of that when I was like 5, 6, ride me around, and I just loved being on the back of his Harley. So by the time I was like 7, 8, he figured I was about ready to start learning how to ride something small, dirt bike-ish. So they got me like a 70cc little mini bike with a 4-speed transmission. I don't remember what it was. Maybe my dad does. Maybe I could ask him and find out. And if I do, I'll post a picture of whatever it was here. But yeah, I had to learn how to rip through the gears on that, and it was a blast as a kid. I had so much fun with that thing, just ripping it around the backyard, learning how to ride. And for me at the time, it was perfect size. You know, it was a mini bike, but I was only like 7 or 8 years old, so it was quite perfect as far as the size went. And yeah, so I ended up loving riding and dirt biking. So after that, my parents upgraded me to a RM80, the Suzuki RM80 two-stroke. And that's where I learned a lot of my, I don't want to say advanced riding, but more advanced dirt biking on that bike. I was actually able to get that thing up and, you know, take it off jumps and pop wheelies and that kind of fun stuff. So got really proficient at that. Blew it up a few times. The first time I blew it up, we rebuilt it with just stock parts. And then the second time I blew it, I guess I blew it up 3 times. The second time I blew it up, we rebuilt it with the big bore kit. And then after I blew that one up again, then we were just kind of done with it. It sat in storage forever until eventually my mom asked me if she could sell it, and I told her to go for it. Never planned on touching it. And so yeah, at that time I was probably, when I first got the RM, I was probably 12 years old, 11 or 12, somewhere right in there. And I probably rode that bike all the way until I was like 14. And by the time I was 14, I definitely outgrew the size of that bike. I sprung up pretty fast. I hit 6 feet as a teen pretty quick. So that bike became pretty cramped on me pretty quick. And so after that, I just kind of put down the gloves and started skating and hanging out with my friends and smoking weed because I was a teenager and just developing a social life. Really, I didn't really care about fixing my motorcycle or getting a new one and all that. I was just more, more worried about hanging out with friends and, getting girls and stuff like that. So I actually didn't end up riding for a really long time, probably like 8 years. By the time I got my first street bike, I think I was 22 or 23. And I wanted to get, what got me back into street bike, or what got me into street bikes is one day my dad was moving, and his new house was like 40 minutes away, and he needed to get his sporty 1200, a 96 Sportster 1200. He needed to get that over to his house. And he still has the electric light, so he's like, I can't ride 2 bikes, so do you mind coming over, helping me out and ride this bike for me over to the new house? And I'm like, Dad, you realize I haven't ridden in like 8 years, right? And he's like, yeah, you'll be fine, it's fine. I'm like, all right. So went to his house, I mounted it up, took it around the block real quick just to make sure no funny business with the bike, and that I was going to be able to remember all the coordination and whatnot. So ended up, it was like a 40-minute ride back home, back to his new house with Dad. And it was a perfect Wisconsin summer out. And there was so many bikers, and I was hitting so many biker waves that all of these other bikers, and I felt that street bike lifestyle for the first time. And I fell in love. I was like, God damn, I need a motorcycle. So naturally, son tried to beg his dad for the Sportster 1200. And Dad told him, that's my bike. You go get your own bike. And I was like, all right. So I had to start looking. At the time, I said I was 22 or 23, so it's not like I had a ton of money hanging around in the bank or anything like that. So I had about $1,200 to spend at the time, and I was itching to ride. So started getting on Craigslist and hopping online. The one I liked the most ended up being the 1980 GS 850. And I think the guy was asking $1,400. I negotiated him down to 12. Thing was bone stock, had the grandpa windjammer fairing on there from the 80s. I needed like an upper head seal and valve cover seals. So I needed some work for sure, but nothing I was afraid of doing. So I scooped that up from him, and I love that bike. I fucking chopped it, turned it into a cafe racer. Got it looking pretty good. I won't lie. By my standards, I was not afraid to be seen on that thing. It was definitely not your usual ratty cafe build. I'll enter a video maybe right about here. I fell in love with that bike. Kept it for about 4 years. moved out here to Arizona, that bike came with me. Before I moved to Arizona, I also picked up a Honda Shadow 600. Because I got it for a stupid price. The guy wanted $600 for it. It was a 96. I figured at $1 cc, easy flip, so I sold it for $1,400. I think I had it for like a couple months, maybe. Just had to fix up a couple things with it. And yeah, so that was a bike I technically owned. I rode it like twice, so that bike was fucking dog ass. I mean, for a beginner, it's a good bike, don't get me wrong, but for someone that has at least like a month of fucking something under their belt, they're gonna get real bored with that bike pretty quick. So yeah, sold that. Took the Suzuki with me to Arizona and rode it for a while, and ended up meeting my girlfriend, my now fiance, and she wanted to go on rides with me, and it was a friend group and everything. So the cafe racer was not a good ride for her. She was not having a good time. It was too stiff of the suspension. The seat was too hard. Her ass cheeks hung off. It's all around not a good time for her. So I was like, all right, I gotta get another bike. So I kept the Suzuki, and I ended up getting a CTX 1300. And don't ask me why I got a CTX 1300. Looking back on it, I probably have just got the FJR 1300. I think that's a better bike in my opinion. But I ended up on the CTX, paid about $7,000 out the door for it. And it was perfect for what I needed. For me and the girl, putting some stuff in the bags, hauling her around with the friend group, it was perfect. Very comfortable, very capable in the twisties. But I just after about a year, I just lust for more power. So, and the in-between time, I sold the Suzuki because it was just sitting, not being ridden. And it was just gathering problems the longer it sat. So I got rid of that for $2,500. And decided I was done with the CTX and I wanted something with a little bit more power. Loved everything about the CTX, just needed more power. So that's how we ended up on the Pan America here. And boy, does the Pan America have power. So that's kind of been the evolution of my motorcycle history and my different bikes I've owned throughout my life. So yeah, I said it's your boy Sir Gil. If you guys enjoyed the content today, don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below what motorcycle started off your journey on this whole debacle of motorcycle lifestyle. I'd love to know what's got you guys into the space. So I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.